It's absolutely another delicious and beautiful day here in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen, and today we're going to take our roast to the oven instead of the slow cooker, which I've been doing recently. Don't worry, we'll still do a slow cooker pork roast or maybe a pork loin. Either one works. So what I'm going to do is set up our pork loin. I have a beautiful, I wanted to show you this, I'm very proud of it. This is a beautiful Le Creuset baking dish that was a gift for Christmas. I'm so excited for it. I've always wanted some of their cookware, but I wasn't willing to spend the money myself, and that was just a very thoughtful and welcomed gift from David. So thank you, David, for my beautiful baking dish. So we're going to use it for the first time right here in my kitchen on the channel. Ready to go. Okay, so let's cover what I have out so far, because this is not all of it. We're going to add some vegetables in a little bit. So aside from the beautiful baking dish, I have 3 3/4 pound pork sirloin roast, not pork loin roast. That's going to cook a little differently because it's leaner. Then I have sage and some thyme. I have salt and pepper, 3 cloves of garlic and some paprika, and then some olive oil. So we're gonna get all that mixed together and coat our patted dry pork loins with it, and then we're going to get to baking. So what we wanna do is get our seasonings and whatnot into our oil. You could put your seasonings on after you just basically oil that first, but I like to just do it all at once. Why not? Save yourself a step. In this case, not always. Sometimes it's not good to save a step. So we're just going to continue adding in all of our little dishes of seasonings. And you can, of course, adjust this to your personal preference taste. That is a rubbed sage or ground sage. So it's very much like a paste. Okay. Next, we're going to pat dry our sirloins so that our oil mixture sticks to them a little better. Don't forget to dry the cutting board as you flip, because some of that moisture is going to stay on your cutting board. See that? Dry that off, and then dry your pork loin some more. Your pork shoulder, I should say, not loin. We just had that discussion. Okay. Now that this part's done, I am ready to get my hands dirty. We're gonna coat both sides of this and get it into our beautiful baking dish. So here we go. So I'm gonna try and make this easy on myself. And you could tie these together if you want it to be nice and stuck. I'm just gonna stick them in the pan together. So I'm gonna start by spooning some of this so that I get both some of what's on top and the bottom. And then I'm gonna use, and you could use your hands if you want. No shame in getting your hands dirty. Okay, spread this around on all the sides that you can see, and then we'll flip it over into the baking dish so we don't lose any of this on the cutting board. And we'll do the other side. Okay, here we go. Now that it's in the baking dish, I can continue on with this and just get the rest of it. I'm gonna use all of it. And then I'll, again, spread it around with my little brush. Use your hands if you want. Okay. Now, I am going to try and get these as close together as possible, like so, because after a little bit of cooking time, I'm going to end up adding my vegetables, which will be potatoes and carrots, and they need room in the pan, and I want this to cook fairly evenly. Okay, my oven is preheated to 450 degrees. We're going to bake this uncovered for 30 minutes and then reduce our heat to 350 and cook for an additional hour. Here we go. Okay, our cook time is about halfway past. We're gonna go ahead and add our carrots and potatoes and our beef broth. Now I've heated it up some because I don't wanna crack my pan by adding cold liquid. This is my homemade bone beef broth that I canned, and I will put a link down below for that recipe as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and add these in. And I'm just spreading them around. like so. And I'm just surrounding everything, and then I'm going to do the same thing with the carrots. Okay. Now I'm going to take my 1 cup of the beef broth and just pour it right on in there. Okay. Back in the oven it goes, and we're going to cook it until our veggies are fork tender and the pork pulls apart. So that'll probably be 45 minutes, maybe an hour. Just keep checking it. Okay, we did our preliminary roasting, then we added our vegetables, then we roasted it some more, then we took it out and let it rest for 20 minutes. Yes, please let it rest for that 20 minutes so that those meats can hold on to those nice juices. So what I want to do right now is take out my pork and shred it up or cut it up, however you want to go about your day. So you can take some forks and pull it apart, which I find to be a reasonable way to do it. Just get a little technique going. Okay, or you can use a knife and cut it. But if you just kind of scrape along the sides like this, it'll just shred apart for you. And that is plattered up. It looks delicious. It smells delicious. I'm not gonna lie, as I was shredding this up, I was already tasting it, so I know it tastes delicious too. I will make a gravy because I love gravy with my carrots and potatoes and roast. It just ties it all together. So, try not to be rude with food in my mouth. I will put a link down below for a gravy recipe. You can use the juices that are in there. You can use a vegetable broth, a beef broth, whatever you want to use for your liquid. Delicious. Fabulous bakeware too. Thanks for joining me here today in the Let's Make Food from Food Kitchen. As always, from my kitchen to yours, let's make food from food.
That's one boy puppy.